When Claire told me she had to travel out of town for an office conference, I didn't think much of it first. She worked in marketing, and these kinds of events were nothing unusual. Still, something in her tone stayed with me. Too deliberate, too cautious, and her eyes wouldn't quite meet mine. I brushed it off, convincing myself I was imagining things. After all, we'd been married 7 years. Trust was the core of everything we'd built, or so I believed. That Friday morning, she left early, suitcase in hand, heels tapping across the floor. She kissed me goodbye, but it felt rushed, mechanical, like something rehearsed. "Don't wait up," she murmured. And then she was gone. The house felt heavier without her. I tried to fill the silence that weekend, but it clung to me. Her messages came through rarely, short, cold, stripped of any warmth. When she came home Sunday night, I expected fatigue etched across her face from endless meetings and small talk. Instead, she looked glowing, like someone who'd been living a secret life for a few days. "How was the conference?" I asked casually. She nodded quickly, too quickly. "It was fine. Just work, you know." But then it happened. The slip that changed everything. Her phone buzzed mid-sentence, and she fumbled with it, her hands trembling. "Jake from the office," she said, forcing a laugh. The way his name rolled off her tongue, soft, familiar, made something inside me tighten. Jake. I'd heard that name before, dropped carelessly in conversation, always paired with that same nervous laugh. I watched her closely as she avoided my eyes, her fingers still shaking. I didn't say anything then, but something inside me shifted. Claire's trembling hands told me more than her words ever could. That night, sleep refused come. Every time I closed my eyes, the name Jake echoed in my mind. I replayed the scene over and over, her trembling fingers, her forced laugh, the way her gaze darted anywhere but toward me. Claire wasn't the kind of woman who slipped up. She was sharp, composed, always in control. That moment wasn't an accident. It was a fracture in her mask. The next day, I asked lightly, "So, did Jake go to the conference too?" For a second, her face stiffened before she managed a quick smile. "No, of course not. He stayed at the office." Her voice was calm, but her hand tightened around her coffee mug just a little too hard. I let the question go, outwardly at least, but inside, suspicion began to burn. Over the next week, the signs became impossible to ignore. Late-night texts she hid by turning her phone face down. Quiet laughter while she typed. The faint scent of cologne, not mine, not hers, clinging to her clothes. I tried convincing myself it was all in my head, but every small detail slid perfectly into place, forming a picture I didn't want to see. Then one evening, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed again. I shouldn't have looked, but curiosity won. The message was short. "I miss you already. Last weekend felt unreal." My stomach dropped. It was from Jake. When Claire came out of the bathroom, humming softly and wrapped in a towel, I forced a smile. My heart thundered in my chest, but I stayed quiet. I needed proof, undeniable proof. The following Friday, she mentioned another late meeting. My chest tightened, but I just nodded and let her go. As soon as she drove off, I grabbed my keys and followed. She drove calmly, humming along with the radio, unaware that I was just a few cars behind. My pulse quickened with every turn until she finally pulled into a dimly lit parking lot. Not near any office, not near any hotel. A quiet, intimate restaurant. I parked far enough to stay hidden and watched. She stepped out, smoothing her dress with shaking fingers. A few minutes later, a man appeared from the shadows. Jake. He didn't look surprised. He looked ready. She smiled at him, the kind of smile she hadn't given me in years. Her whole face lit up. Then she stepped into his arms without hesitation. The sight hollowed me out. It was like the ground fell away beneath me. Every late-night excuse, every clipped text, every trembling hand, all of it suddenly made perfect, painful sense. I wanted to rush out, to drag her home, to demand the truth, but I couldn't move. I sat there, frozen, watching the life I thought I knew crumble right before my eyes. They went inside, hand in hand. I waited. An hour later, they came out again, laughing softly. Her head rested on his shoulder. She looked free, lighter, like I'd never existed at all. I didn't follow them after that. I didn't need to. The truth was right there, written in her smile and his touch. Driving home, my hands gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. My eyes burned, but I refused to let the tears fall. When she walked in later that night, pretending to be exhausted from her conference, I was waiting. I looked her straight in the eye, my voice calm but cold. "How is Jake?" Her face drained of color. Her hands trembled again. And in that silence, everything we had broke apart.